Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another pre-market live stream today. Thank you guys again for tuning in. So, excuse me. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend, ready for a trading day. It's going to be the Thanksgiving week. Volume might slow down. It is Monday. Mondays can kind of be a little awkward coming into the market. As we know, it's been the weekend. People haven't traded for a couple days. Some people get antsy. So it can always kind of create an interesting start to the day sometimes. So for me, going to take it somewhat slow here in the morning rather than jumping in. So I've been a little off for the past couple Mondays. Looking at my trading hasn't been the best on Mondays for the past couple weeks. So today I'm going to take that into consideration and trade and just be a little bit more patient today. Okay. Good morning, Yuri. As always, what's going on, my man? All right, so there's three stocks that I'm really paying attention to. Might trade some other ones or different stocks that are on the watch list. I may not only trade what's on the watch list, but for now we got three stocks: NVDA, JD, and NBEV. NBEV is a marijuana penny stock. JD is an earnings play for the day, and NVIDIA is a continuation of an earnings play from Friday. So again, or wait, was it Friday or was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday or Friday. It doesn't really matter anyways. But three stocks, pretty straightforward. Let's jump into it. So I'm going to start sharing my screen now. And we will start here with JD. So JD, let me get this off the screen too. I don't need that. So JD is gapping down, right? You can see this gap down on JD. So they had an earnings play. It dropped, it bounced around 2163. It's now getting up towards, 2250. Personally, I'd like to see it up to about 2275. The earnings wasn't all that bad. To me, it seemed more of kind of a mixed earnings report. So there's kind of some good, kind of some bad. So getting some mixed feelings about it. So I do want to watch it, not for certain on any direction just yet. Personally, I don't like it short unless it's at about 2275 or 2280. So I am going to play an overall short bias on the stock, but I would like to see it up towards 2275 or $22.80 before considering a short play. I've looked at it. JD has about, it has a 3-year low around $19.70 to $20. So if JD does turn into a short play and really gets cooking to the downside, I do foresee we could see it down towards maybe 20, 1970, 1950. That would be a pretty big move for the stock in the day, but I do think it's possible. All right. So for me, there isn't really any good support system on JD until about its 3-year low area support around $20, right? So if you look at the yearly chart on JD, you'll see it's just downtrending, right? So there's really nothing to look back at for support. If you go to a 3-year chart, you will then see it had this low point down here around 1950. So if it does get moving to the downside, again, we could probably see it as low as 20. And then that's where I'd say we'd probably start bouncing on the day. Okay. Awesome, J1. Appreciate it, my man. So good stuff there. Yeah, good morning, guys. So again, JD, pretty straightforward. Going to be watching it short around 2270. Hopefully that it gets down to $20 on the day. All right. Next one on the list is NVIDIA. Now, I'm not like crazy about NVIDIA, but I do want to talk about it. So, I mean, as we know, NVIDIA had that major gap down from its earnings. And so it's extremely oversold right now. Right now, the 4-hour chart is extremely bearish, so I will be watching NVIDIA short bias today because it didn't really bounce on Friday. It tried to, then it failed, and now it's gapping down on the 4-hour. It looks very heavy, so we'll be watching NVIDIA short bias today. Now, if I had to look at NVIDIA, let's say on a time, we'll do like a 2-year chart. So if I looked at, that doesn't do it for me. There we go. So I've looked at NVIDIA on like, let's say a 2-year chart, right? Realistically, the support is at about 160. I mean, that's really where I see support, down at about 160. Okay, we're at 161.75. So I think we could see NVIDIA down to 160, and that's where I see some support. If it were to break that support, then I could see it as low as maybe 150. But I'd be very surprised if we don't. I'd be very surprised if NVIDIA doesn't try to put up some sort of fight at the 160 mark, okay? I'd be very surprised if it doesn't try to bounce off of 160. So for me, I mean, I'm watching NVIDIA because it does look kind of heavy. But then I also tell myself 160 is kind of a strong support. So I think if we get down to 160, it struggles and it breaks 160, we could see somewhat of a mini panic sell-off that could bring it down into the high 50s essentially, into 158s, 157s. So I think the 160 is a key level to watch for both a potential buy intraday and then also a short if it panics and stop losses are hit as it goes below 160. Okay, so that's NVIDIA. So we're pretty covered up on NVIDIA. Again, it's nothing really new. We kind of viewed it on Friday, so nothing really new there, but something to keep an eye on. And then also, I'm watching NVIDIA over the next couple days because I think it's going to turn into a good possible swing trade. There's going to be some money to be made back to the upside, so I'll be watching for maybe like a 2-day or 3-day swing trade. All right. Next one on the list is NBEV. So this is more or less one of my top stocks I'll be watching today and over the course of the next maybe week or so. To me, it looks like it's trying to become bullish, where it means it could turn into somewhat of a good trader, but it still has a lot of work to do before it can turn into some really good shooting penny stock. So for me, it's up this morning, but it's not strong. This previous pop up to 540 is a resistance. So if we look at this, let me scale back to we'll do like a 180-day chart again. So, I mean, it's breaking some trend lines. That's just kind of NBEV's breaking some trend lines. It's starting to look strong. I would like to see NBEV at least test the $4 area once again, hold support. But I'm going to be watching this long bias, and I think you should too over the course of the day and the next couple weeks. If it can stay above $4 and hold support, I think it could turn into a nice penny stock mover for maybe the next couple days or so. So definitely keeping a strong watch on NBEV. Right now, pre-market, it kind of went up. Now it's pulling back. So, I really don't know there's really not too much more to say about it. It's still kind of trending up this morning. But again, today isn't the day where I'm like crazy about trading it. I still think it needs more time to set up, but I think it's getting there to some good potential long plays. Okay. I will cover PCG. So for me, PCG is... It's there's so much going on with it, with the news and the wildfires, and nobody really knows for sure what to make of the stock yet in the company, because California regulators said, we don't want you to go bankrupt. I think the CEO tweeted it, or there was some article out there where the CEO said that it's very unlikely they go bankrupt. So I don't really know what to be. I haven't read the news on it this morning. I really haven't kept up to date on the news probably since Friday, so I could be a little bit off here, but for me, it's 100% emotional. I personally think. I think everything that's happened with PCG is entirely 100% emotional, and that's fine. It's a complete emotional trade, right? People dump the stock because they're afraid of it going bankrupt, though we're not sure if it's going to go bankrupt, though we're not really sure if they even are a reason why the wildfires started yet. It's still being investigated. So it's kind of one of those stocks where it's like, there's a lot of opportunity if it goes bad, but there's also a great opportunity if this bad news concludes. So for me right now, I'm not even going to short PCG. For me right now, everything I want to do is I want to long PCG. I want to see this news conclude and come to some sort of, let the dust settle and then find out that everything is actually okay and the company can go back to its regular thing and we pick it up for a good deal. that's kind of where I'm at with PCG. So right now, PCG rejected on Friday's trading around 27, sold off. This morning, it's gapping down right into a support of about 22. So there's a lot of people that are probably thinking short PCG today because it's gapping down, whereas I'm actually thinking it's coming down to $22 where I think it might hold support. So I would be kind of cautious around this $22 area. We're at $22.77. If it can get down to 22 specifically, that's where I'd start getting a little bit more cautious because we've previously bounced around 22. So we might bounce here again today. Okay. Oh, so yeah, so like the video I posted on Friday about the loss of I think it was like a $2,600 loss video. So I mean, there's a couple things with it. Like I could have totally not taken as big as a hit. I could have took a little bit of profit. I mean, I basically could have gotten out of that trade without even losing, right? So, there's so much. And so here's the thing, right? I lost. It is what it is, right? It sucks to lose and it's terrible to lose and it happens and it is what it is, right? But the problem is when you upload a video like that, everybody has an opinion. So everybody is so open to giving their opinion. And so, a lot of people get confused. Essentially, they're like, well, you could have done this and you could have done that 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 and you could have, it's like, you're right. I could have done all those things, right? So a lot of the things you're hearing as well, you kind of seen some sellers candles before that sell off. So you could have gotten out there. You're up $1,000 at one point. You could have taken profits. It's like, yeah, I was in 6,000 shares and I was up $1 or I was up to 1,000. So that the spread. So realistically, the price was barely moving when I was up profit. Like I said, I was up 1,000, but the price was hardly even moving. Really, it was just the spread. The market maker flipping from positive spread to negative spread, from negative spread to positive. So really, I wasn't really making money on that trade yet. Like I could have maybe gotten out with a small profit, would have been unlikely. It was very close to popping, so I gave it an extra chance. And then I did what you should not have done, and I gave myself really just a couple seconds of hesitation of getting out where I was like, I don't want to get out, and I'll let it kind of, just barely break this support. And if it does, then I'll get out. Well, I did what most people would do. I waited till it broke that candle to get out. And when I did, everybody's stop loss got hit. I exited. So basically just got caught in a massive flush. So by the time I get out, you have this massive slippage going down all the way. Hence the idea, and I didn't use a stop loss. It was all mental. But that just goes to show that stop losses don't work entirely, because if there's enough selling pressure, then a lot of times there won't be a buyer to buy your shares even at your stop loss price. So people are like, you could have had a stop loss in there and that would have helped. It's like, yeah, you could have, but even the stop loss probably wouldn't have been foolproof on that. So again, all in all, it was just a trade that went south, got caught in a lot of selling pressure, could have exited a bit sooner, held a tad too long, So I mean, there's like a lot of things you could have done. At the end of the day, it was a big trade, and it went for the worst. So it is what it is. So really, the takeaway there for you guys is, understand your share sizing, right? So for me, that was just a normal loss. I mean, it was a big loss, but I've taken losses like that before, so it's somewhat normal in the sense that I've taken worse losses than that. But it was quick, right? It can happen like that quick. I've made money that quick, so. The takeaway there from that is you have to understand that sometimes you can just get caught in a bad flush and things go worse than you would hope for, really, is what the takeaway is there from that. Let's see. So there's another question, like Mary asked, so if a stock stalls, should we get out? So I'm assuming stalling meaning by kind of just like consolidating. And no, not necessarily you should get out. And see, that's the thing about trading that most people, so this is another kind of thing that everybody goes, oh, well, if it does this, should we do that? If it does that, should we do that? It's like, so what I try and teach, right, and it's challenging. I try and teach is that it's not about what you should do here and there and this. you have to be able to take everything you've learned about the market, every situation you've been in trading, every potential new situation you'll be in trading, and you have to think about all of that while you're trading to make the best educated decision on what it's doing, right? If something's consolidating, it doesn't mean get out. What if it's consolidating for a move up? Well, you're like, well, how do I know if it's going to move up? Well, have you been in a situation like that before? So a lot of trading is all previous experience based trading, right? So no, when something's stalling, you shouldn't necessarily just get out, would be the way that I would answer that. This week we will have Lowe's and a few other earnings reports coming out that should be pretty good as well. AMRN, I haven't looked at AMRN since I swing traded it. Let's see what it's doing. Yeah, AMRN's holding up. Again, I think everything with AMRN, that massive sell-off, I think that was some manipulative trick to get shares at a lower price, but, what do I know? AMRN, it's consolidating to the side in a bullish, I don't want to say bullish, but it is really just consolidating to the side. It's got resistance right now at 1840, so this could be its top and it's going to drop, or we could break over 1840. I would still be more short bias on AMRN for right now. Daniel, so actually I will be linking the website and everywhere. So if you guys wanted to help support the community a little bit more, we do have t-shirts. We're getting some sweatshirts made. We're doing some other cool like little trading tees, and we might even be getting like some canvases with trading tips and patterns and things where you guys can post in your office too. So that might come. But anyways, soon we will link all the merchandise and stuff in the video, so you guys can check that out soon. Basically, we got our first shipment in and it basically just sold through all of it with a bunch of sizes, so we had to get in more sizes. So we just got them in. We're getting them printed right now, so probably going to be available within like the next week, and then we'll let you guys know, and you guys can pick up some new swag if you guys would like. So that will be very soon. We'll get that available for you guys. Let's see. My moving averages setups are 920. They're exponential moving averages, 920, 50, 100, 200. Why those? Because I like them and they work well for me. So play around with them, study them, understand why you use them in the areas you use them. So there's a lot to them for sure. Let's see. Yeah, anyway, so that's all I have for you guys today. It's NVIDIA, NBEV, and JD. If I trade something else, I trade something else. I was going to ask you guys because I was just curious. So do you guys like the live trading recap videos that I post where it's like me actually live trading? Or would you actually like it to be like a recap video where I go over the trades in more detail? Like, some people like the live trades, some people want recaps. I don't really know. And it's not that I'm going to do one over the other. Just kind of want to hear some feedback from you guys specifically. I don't know if you guys like that more or like it less. Yeah, live. So that's what I kind of figured. So we'll probably just keep going that route. By the way, so we're going to get off here soon. Got to get back to the private group. But I did want to mention to you guys to make sure, if you haven't already, to make sure to join Boiler Room Trading. It's the first link in the description. Not necessarily to join and pay and become a service, but just because we've brought in someone on board to the trading team. I used to do this, but I kind of ran out of time in the morning, was too busy. But we brought someone on board recently to the team who now kind of takes care of our morning watch list emails. So if you guys wanted another form of content for watch list, we are sending out just kind of like a brief overview in the morning. So if you don't have time to hop on this every morning, or if you don't have time to go through and watch it, or, basically if you don't have time to be on YouTube, we do send out a small recap email every day now. So you can get that by going to the first link in the description of the video and just creating an account on our website and putting in your email contact information. And then we'll hit you with that watch list every morning. And then I think we might as well in the near term future be implementing a weekend newsletter. So another kind of recap of the trading week and potentially what to look forward to for the upcoming week, all free. So just another form of content that some of you guys might like because you don't have the time to be here. So some people like the written, some people like the video format. You know, whatever works for you, but it's just another form of content. So again, you can sign up, first link, all free. We'll send you the emails. And then lastly, before I get off, I know a lot of announcements. I know, I'm sorry. But for anybody who hasn't yet joined Boiler Room Trading, who would like to, who's been thinking about it, we are going to do a sale this whole week for like Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday, Black Friday, kind of all that good stuff we're doing a sale for. It will be 50% off, it will be 50% off our monthly program for your first month, and then it's regular price thereafter. And then we're doing $49 off our yearly subscription. So pretty good. We don't really do sales too often anymore. So when we do, we try to make it pretty good. So you can get $49 off the yearly, and you can save 50% off your first month. So if you guys just want to try us out, you can save 50% for your first month and cancel if you didn't like it or if it wasn't a good fit for you. So check it out. That's all I got for you guys today. Enough spamming you guys, I know. I'll see you guys all tomorrow morning and for another live trading video recap. And other than that, guys, take care, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, all right?